Welcome back, Scrolling Sword. Congratulations. You just finished the gospel according to Dr. Luke. And I couldn't be more happy for you. We just witnessed the Last Supper. We saw disciples fail, and we got to witness the risen Christ restoring them. And ultimately, the cross exposed human weakness while also revealing divine mercy. And today, I want to focus on betrayal, restoration, and grace that recommissions the fallen. I want to look at the Eucharist. And at Passover, Jesus shares a covenant meal and declares the cup, the new covenant, in his blood, echoing Moses' covenant ratification at Sinai. And in the ancient world, covenant meals established family bonds. And Jesus transforms Passover into a meal centered on his redemptive death. And the Greek phrase here, in remembrance, I'm not even going to try to say it. I don't speak Greek like that, but it directs believers to continually recall and participate in what Christ has accomplished. Continually recall and participate. This is about how we started the book of Luke, if you recall, and you have been participating, even as the covenant is inaugurated. This is my body. This is my blood. Jesus reveals betrayal within the circle. I actually preached about it recently. And in what he's doing, he's showing grace, operates amid human failure. It's absolutely beautiful, this covenantal meal that Jesus institutes with his body and his blood. And the disciples, they argue about greatness. And ultimately, they're revealing how ambition survives even in sacred moments. You know what I'm saying? It's like you're having a conversation with your spouse across the dinner table and one of your children come up and make a fart joke or something like that. It's like, what in the world? Get out of here. But that's what the disciples were like. Even in the middle of it, they're arguing about greatness. Who's going to sit on your left side? Who's going to sit on your right side? Who is the greatest? What? And it's just ambition can pop up in sacred moments that God is trying to do. But Jesus redefines leadership through servanthood. And he predicts even Peter's denial. But he promises, I will be praying for you. I feel like this is one of the most amazing things, and I want to preach about it so bad. He says, Peter, you're going to deny me 3 times, but I am praying that you will make it through. It's like Jesus knows your failures. He knows your downfalls. He knows your future sins, and he is intercessing for you as you commit sins against him. It's beautiful because he's promising, if the King of the world is praying for you, God himself is praying for you, what do you think his will is? For you to make it through whatever fall, whatever defeat that you're in. And after the resurrection, Jesus appears with peace, opening their minds to Scripture, and he recommissions them to proclaim forgiveness. And this meal that began with failure ends with restoration. Showing grace does not erase the weakness, but it redeems it. Kind of like a coach. I'm a sports guy, kind of like a coach restoring a player after a costly mistake, after a boneheaded move, and he sends them back into the game with renewed trust after a pep talk. I know it's you threw that out of bounds, man, but here's the deal. I'm for you. I'm here for you. Here's what you need to do. I trust you. Get out there. It's just like that. Jesus restores those of us, who is all of us, who fail. And he entrusts us with his mission. And it starts with a simple invitation into a covenant, grounded in grace, not human faithfulness. Failure does not disqualify those who continually return to him. Shame on anybody who makes fun of somebody who keeps going to the altar. Yes, is there space for maturity? Maybe they need to get over stuff. Yes, but it does not come from the advice of those sitting on their butts in the seats who are not continually returning to Christ. That's what restoration is, returning to the one who can restore you. And restoration leads to renewed purpose and to witness. And ultimately, at the end of the book of Luke here, the risen Christ turns broken followers into faithful messengers. So if you follow the risen Christ, become a faithful messenger today and tell somebody that he is risen. Love y'all. See you in the discussion room.